The topic is coelom, coelomoducts, and coelomocytes. There are three terms are there. All the three terms are very important because those are present in the Annelida. Coelom is first, true coelom is first appeared, developed in the Annelida, and also present in all the higher order organisms. Coelomoducts are also started in the Annelida. Those are present in all the higher order organisms, but the coelomocytes are especially found in the some of the invertebrates. Those are especially found in the Annelida. Those can provide the immune protection to these organisms. First, we discuss focus on the coelom. The coelom is the body cavity that is developed from the mesoderm. During the embryonic development, at the stage of gastrulation, the mesoderm split. In case of Annelida, Arthropoda, and mollusca, the mesoderm split and form the body cavity that is called the true coelom and also called as the schizocoelomata. But whereas in the echinodermata, hemichordata, and chordata, the coelom is formed as a true coelom, but that is called the enterocoelom because some of the cells differentiated from the endodermal cells, endodermal layer, and formed a splitting, and that can formed as the coelom that is discussed in the coelom already. Okay, however, that is called as the enterocoelomata. But here you can see once again, this is flatworm. There is no coelom in the body. This is due to the accumulation of this mesoderm in between the ectoderm and endoderm. There is no space in between the ectoderm and endoderm. No cavity. The coelom is absent in these organisms. Coelomic, the organs, no organs in the body are arranged. That's why these are called as coelomata. Pseudocoelomata, for example, Ascaris lumbricoides or any other nematodes. This is pseudocoelomata. In the pseudocoelomata, actually the body cavity is present. This is pseudocoelom, body cavity is present, but that body cavity is not formed from the splitting of mesoderm. The mesoderm goes and attach to the beneath of ectoderm, but that cannot surround the endoderm. This body cavity or coelom is formed. That's why it is called as a pseudocoelom. But whereas, this is not this is actually pseudocoelom is this one. This is true coelom, Annelida, heteroneris, for example. Wait, this I am removing this. Okay. This is true coelom, Annelida, Arthropoda, mollusca. This coelom is formed by the splitting of mesoderm. Here the mesoderm is splitting. This is ectoderm. This is endoderm. The mesoderm is splitting and formed as the one layer beneath the ectoderm and the layer around the endoderm. The middle space is called the true coelom. In this true coelom, all the body organs are arranged. The body is cavity or the coelom is filled with the coelomic fluid that is acting as the hydrostatic skeleton and can be used to transport the materials also. These are coelom. Coelomata, platyhelminthes, pseudocoelomata, nematodes or nematihelminthes. In this eucoelomata, some are schizocoelomates, Annelida, Arthropoda, mollusca. Enterocoelomates, echinodermata, hemichordata, and chordates. So the enterocoelom, once again I am repeating this, enterocoelom means this is ectoderm during the after gastrulation. This is endoderm. Some of the cells from this endoderm are differentiated and developed as a mesoderm. Next, this mesoderm can split and form the body cavity. That's why it is calling as a entero means gut. Actually, from this endoderm, the gut is going to be developed next. From this gut cells, some cells are differentiating and formed as a mesodermal cells. That's why it is calling as a enterocoelom. That is formed from the enteron. That is called the enterocoelom. So what are the functions of this coelom? Hydrostatic skeleton, for example, in earthworm, along with the circular and longitudinal muscles, this Coelomic fluid is providing as a hydrostatic skeleton and can be used to locomote the organism. Shock absorption in our body, for example, in all the higher order organisms, including in our body, the coelomic fluid is protecting our internal organs, heart, kidney, stomach, liver, by from the shocks, external shocks. Means that is acting as a shock absorber, because we may fall so many times, but nothing is happened to the heart, kidneys, or some other important organs in our body, because the coelomic fluid is protecting our internal organs from the external shocks. That is shock absorbent and organ development and movement. In our body, the heart is beating, moving, the peristaltic movements are taking place in our body, the kidneys are transporting the urine and sperm cells. Likewise, many movements we found in our body. These organs movement is possible due to the presence of coelomic fluid in our body. The coelomic fluid is also used to circulate or transport the materials called the gases, nutrients, and waste material in our body. Another important topic is coelomoducts. Coelomoducts are mainly meant for the reproductive purpose. In this earthworm, the coelomoducts are developing as a vas efferentia, which can transport the sperm cells, and the oviducts. These are oviducts which can transport the eggs. So these coelomoducts are mainly for the transportation of sperm cells and egg cells. Actually, these reproductive vessels, coelomoducts, are developed from the mesoderm. These are actually developed from the mesoderm. But these sperm cells or egg cells are released into the body cavity or coelom. Carefully listen this point. These sperm cells and egg cells are released into the body cavity first. From this body cavity, the vas deferens or oviduct can collect the sperm cells and egg cells respectively and can be transported. Means the coelomoducts are collecting the sperm cells and egg cells from the body cavity and they can be transported to the pores, releasing point. Those are called the coelomoducts. But another type of ducts, but here the coelomoducts, the reproductive vas deferens and the oviducts are connected with the coelom. That's why these are called as the coelomoducts. But another type of ducts we can find in the earthworm's body, those are called the nephridia. These nephridia are also connected to the coelom and collect the excess amount of water, ions, and salts, maintain the osmotic regulation, and also collect the nitrogenous waste material called the urea. So these are also connected with the coelom and collecting the excretory materials. But these are not developed from the mesoderm. These are developed from the ectoderm. Although they developed from the ectoderm, these are connected with the coelom and collecting the waste material from them. These are called the metanephridia. So these two, and these excretory organs, nephridia, and the coelomoducts called the reproductive ducts, vas deferens and oviduct are called the coelomoducts. These reproductive vessels can collect the reproductive cells. These nephridia can collect the waste material from the body and also maintain the osmotic regulation. But here protonephridia and metanephridia, we especially focus on it. Protonephridia are present in the platyhelminthes, flame cells, and solenocytes. But the metanephridia called integumentary nephridia, pharyngeal nephridia, and segmental nephridia found in Annelida earthworm. Okay, these are connected with the coelom and collect the excretory material. So the coelomoducts are mainly reproductive purpose, vas deferens and oviducts, collect the sperm cells and egg cells from the coelom. But the excretory ducts which are developing from the ectoderm are innervated or connected with the coelom and collect the excretory material. And another important discussion is the coelomocytes. Those are very, very important in the earthworms. Um, they float in the coelomic fluid. They are present in the coelomic fluid. Those are simply we can say that those are equal to our WBC white blood cells, eosinophils, basophils, dendritic cells like that. These can provide the protection to the earthworm body or annelid body, because those are providing immunity to the organisms. So these functions are phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means, for example, just like how amoeba taking the food material, that is called the phagocytosis. These are the microorganisms. If it found any microorganisms in the earthworm body or annelid body, this plasma membrane is invaginated into the cytoplasm. These microorganisms are arrested in this vacuole. The lysosomal enzymes can attach to this one, and they can release the proteases like enzymes. They can digest, means that can kill the viruses or bacteria. The killed particles are released out again. This is called the phagocytosis process. Eosinophils, neutrophils, basophils, mast cells and dendritic cells can do this process in our body, in higher order organisms, vertebrates especially. But in these cases, coelomocytes present in the coelom of the annelids are providing the immunity to the organisms by the phagocytosis process. But encapsulation, another process is also there. What is this encapsulation in the immunity of the annelids? If the microorganism is bigger in shape, that is not engulfed by this organism, engulfed by the coelomocytes, then what happen? They can form a particular layer around its body. Then the epitopes are not exposed. The organism cannot attack the earthworm body or annelid body. That is nothing but encapsulation. And another type of immunity is also humoral immunity. In this humoral immunity, they can produce some antimicrobial proteins from the coelomocytes. They can kill the microorganisms. That is called the humoral immunity. And wound healing and regeneration. This is after the injury, coelomocytes rapidly accumulated at the damaged site and form the clots, just like how our platelets are doing the same wound healing capacity. So the coelomocytes are mainly meant for the protection purpose, just like acting as the WBC by the phagocytosis or encapsulation process, and the wound healing capacity, and also providing the immune response, humoral immunity to the organism.